Let's make it a good day.
Coming up today, it was a windy weekend. Lifetime's Wendy Williams movie and documentary dropped over the weekend. Was it a terrific tell-all or a missed opportunity? Then I'm a fish out of water again, and today I'm actually on the water, or should I say ice. Yep, I'm going ice fishing for the very first time. And from birthdays to babies, you are showing us your weekend. Here we go.
Let's make it a good day. We do it our own way. Let's make it a good day. Oh, no matter what they say. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the show. Happy Monday. Happy February. Welcome. I'm Jace. Please say hello to my sidekick sister from another mister. And ladies and gentlemen, she's also America's favorite skateboarder, Kendall Mark, everyone. Good morning, Kendall.
Hello.
How you doing?
Skateboarding.
Yeah, I give you a different occupation every day. Today you're a skateboarder.
I actually have tried skateboarding, and I'm really bad at it.
I would never try it. Well, I have tried. Yeah, I'm very uncoordinated, as you've seen with cross-country skiing and the like.
You were not uncoordinated with cross-country skiing.
Oh, thanks for that positive reinforcement.
I
Here,
thought it was
I'll
fun.
exchange. It's good to have you back. I missed you.
Thank you.
Thanks to Shane for filling in, but
Shane.
it's good to see you. I hope you had a good
Good to see
weekend.
you. I did. Did you have a good weekend?
I sure did.
Sure
Kendall.
did.
I sure did. Let's say hello to our virtual audience. You're a troublemaker. Let's say hello to our virtual audience. Hi, Sarah, Laura, Kelly, and joining us from the visitor center at Jurassic Park, it's Gary, everybody. Gary, I love your background there. Look at that. Now, Gary, where are you actually phoning in from? It's not Jurassic Park, right, Gary?
No, actually, this is from the, I would say that wonderful road to Hana that I know you've been on.
Oh, Gary, did you do the road to Hana?
Oh, yes, with our hands gripping the steering wheel the entire way. But I'm actually calling from St. Paul.
Well, welcome. Hi, Sarah, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm well. Sarah, you are from Shoreview, right?
I sure am.
That's the home of my radio friend, Alexis Thompson. Thank you for being here. And then let's say hello to Laura. Hi, Laura.
Hi.
Where are you phoning in from, Laura?
Wonderful Woodbury.
There we go. Hey, Laura, if I may compliment you, I love your mug.
Thank you.
Look at that. And last but not least, let's say hello to Kelly. Hi, Kelly.
Hello. I love you guys.
Oh, I love you. Kelly, where are you joining us from?
Lino Lakes.
Lino Lakes. I think you're the first person in our virtual audience representing the Lino Lakes, so no pressure or anything. No pressure. You'll do fine. Well,
Okay.
the audience will be with us throughout the hour. We'll talk to you in just a little bit. Now, you heard me talk about the cross-country skiing today. We have another fish out of water. You just saw in our cold open there. I'm ice fishing for the first time. But and I was all excited about it, but I'm already getting shade.
Why?
I'm already getting shade. I hear producer Ted is already, if this was a bus, there's Jason right there under the bus. Ted is already throwing me under the bus.
For what?
Well, I guess he previewed the story.
And
this was Ted. That ain't ice fishing. So yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. Ted, when was the last time you went ice fishing?
Thank you. Valid question. That's what I was wondering. What is he, Mrs. Paul's? What is he? When was the last? Like I didn't know he's a fisher person. Who is he to judge? Yeah.
He said it looked like a hotel. But all I have to say is this, Ted. Again, you get out and ice fish, and then you can judge.
I was gonna say, I know you're busy at home watching The Bachelor, but I mean, I actually got outside, and yeah. I didn't really go outside. I went into a building that Ted's right, sort of looked like a Red Roof Inn.
Yeah.
But hey, I fished.
You did.
That's all that mattered.
And I'm excited to see if you caught anything. You didn't go out at like a normal good fishing time of day. My fault.
Thank you. See, Kendall, I just really appreciate your support. You are making up for the lack of support coming from Ted. Yeah, I appreciate it.
Just really carrying the team.
You are. But anyway, that's coming up a little bit later. We have a UFO invasion as well. We have that story coming up in TMZ. And before we get going, we're sitting in the meeting today talking about the show, okay? And producer Ted goes, okay, TMZ has this photo of a UFO. And then Director Leo, this is what Director Leo goes, I saw a UFO over the weekend.
I did.
And we all stare at him and we go, why did this not come up an hour ago? And Jeff goes, what did you say? And Leo goes, I saw a UFO.
Yeah.
And we said, when? And he goes, Saturday. And he said it like he was taking a coffee order. He said it so nonchalantly.
Yeah.
I saw a UFO. We're like, what? And then he goes like this, and I have video. We do a TV show. We had to remind him that we do a television show.
And then he was like, well, maybe it wasn't a UFO. I don't know.
Yeah.
He like
and
backed it up.
then he starts backtracking. He goes, we got ready to leave the meeting, and he was feeling the pressure. He goes, it could have been a drone. I don't know. Okay. Maybe we'll see the video later.
Maybe.
Let's get started, everybody. It's time for the hot dish. Roll it, Leo. That's like saying, going through an entire dinner, at the end of the dinner going, my mom was attacked by Bigfoot. You know what I mean?
Oh.
Why don't you lead with that?
Yeah.
As we say in the business, bury the lead. Let's get started. This microphone is very close to me. There we go. How you doing? The Wendy Williams biopic and documentary debuted over the weekend on Lifetime. Before we talk about some of the revelations, here's a little clip.
It's your girl, Wendy Williams, on the mic. I am here to stay. Wendy Williams is not going anywhere. I'm gonna come in like a hurricane. So, Whitney, are you still using drugs?
He wants to give you a talk show.
Millions of people turn on the radio to listen to me.
You're the star.
I am going to tell it like it is. I'm becoming a real business. And I've been trusting you to take care of all of that.
You're self-indulgent. You're narcissistic. You got a coke habit.
So in the movie, Wendy reveals a lot. A lot of it we knew because she's written several books, but the movie covers her struggle with weight, including bulimia as a child. It talks about her relationships and a marriage that only lasted 5 months, and how she reluctantly entered a sober living program just a couple years ago. We remember that. There are a couple takeaways. That was surprising to me. I did not know that was a forced situation. That she, and I shouldn't say forced, but it was, well, yeah, against her will. And the movie and documentary also kind of confirmed a long-standing rumor that, Wendy was kind of unceremoniously fired or let go from her radio station in in the late 90s. And the rumor always was that Sean Combs had something to do with it, and this kind of confirms that rumor.
Like P. Diddy?
Like P. Diddy.
Oh.
No,
or
Sean
Daddy,
Combs, our assistant producer.
Well, I know,
no,
he's
yeah,
gone by
yeah.
like 7 different names.
No, I
but
know,
you,
yeah.
okay, I was like, was it a good movie?
Here's the problem with it. It was really good. It was juicy, but the problem was they tried to squeeze her entire life into 2 hours. So what happens is they go by stuff so fast that you don't really emotionally connect to her struggle, because it's like drug problem, infidelity, and before you know it, they're on to the next thing. So I would have liked it if maybe focused on maybe a week in her life. You know what I mean? This just seemed like a lot to try to squeeze in to 2 hours. That's my only beef.
Yeah, that woman has had a life.
Yes.
Like, I mean, you could do my life in 2 hours. It'd be like born, high school, college, Jason.
Yeah, I like that.
Thank you.
Very nice. But no, it could have been like a mini series. You know what I mean?
Right.
I wouldn't
Definitely
have
have
tried to
parts.
squeeze everything into 2 hours. My only criticism.
Okay.
But it was good. If you're a Wendy fan, you ate it up.
Okay.
Next in the dish, Stanley Tucci was featured on CBS Sunday Morning. You know we love that show. He has played a number of gay roles over the years and talked about a recent controversy with straight actors playing gay roles. Look.
It's been muted, but there has been criticism from some quarters saying that gay roles should be played by gay actors. What do you make of that?
I have difficulty with that. I think that acting is all about not being yourself. If we were to use that as a template, then we would only ever play ourselves. I think what we need to do, we need to give more gay actors opportunities. People who are gay have only recently, in the last few years really, have been able to say, I'm gay and I'm an actor. And I can play straight roles and I can play, they always had to hide their sexuality so that they could play the leading man or the leading woman.
Stanley stars in the new film Supernova. He and Colin Firth play a gay couple. Stanley's character struggles with early onset dementia. I'm with Stanley, and I may get some flack for this, but whatever. I could say monkey, and I'd get flack for it. But I don't agree. I don't buy into that. Look, but let me be clear, because sometimes let me be crystal Carrington clear. Do I want more representation and opportunity for actors that are LGBTQ? Absolutely. Come on, absolutely. But I think it's and I hate this term, but I'm going to use it. It is a slippery slope. If we start saying, we can only have, I don't like that. I just don't. And there are only so many roles. I mean, if you limit, I don't know. I don't like that at all.
Yeah, I thought that whole interview in general, if people want to watch the whole thing, I thought that whole thing was really good because he talks a little bit more about that, and then he talks about how the movie looks really good and how it's not about him being a gay couple. Like that's what's cool. It's just a beautiful love story, and it was a great interview. I was glad you wanted to talk about this today.
Yeah, and if it's a good performance, if a straight actor can bring nuance to playing a gay role, great.
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
But then again, it's easy for me. I'm a very lucky person. I have several platforms. I recognize that as well. But we have a lot more to come. Go get some more coffee. We'll be back after this, everyone. We're not done with the hot dish. Coming up next, close encounters of the TMZ kind. Are we looking at an actual UFO? The photo that has us questioning, are we alone? TMZ has the story. Then from battling drag queens to a mesmerizing new film on Hulu, it's a Jason Show TV taste test. And I'm a fish out of water once again. This time, I got my license, I got my bait, and I'm going ice fishing. That's all coming up when we return.
If you watched The Undoing, you might have noticed that one of the stars of the show, Nicole Kidman, sang the theme song.
While I'm alone as blue as can be, my son, dream a little dream of me. Did you notice my coat?
We did. Inspired by Nicole, stars of your other favorite shows are now singing their theme songs on Now That's What I Call Theme Songs Sung by the Stars of the Show. So enjoy this original theme song that was cut from the opening of Queen's Gambit.
Chess and drugs and drugs and chess. Girl playing chess, then doing drugs, then playing chess.
And what about Gillian Anderson as Margaret Thatcher, singing the theme song for The Crown?
This is The Crown, all right?
Pretty sure that was the theme song from The Voice. And you've probably heard they're rebooting Sex and the City. Kim Cattrall's not in the new show, but she does sing the theme song.
Sex in the City without Samantha. Doesn't that sound fun? It's Sex in the City without the sex. Hope you enjoy the city. Oh.
Hey, I'll watch that. That's one of the good sketches from SNL. Baby Yoda there. There wasn't a lot. I didn't love SNL. That cold open was horrible.
Was it?
Oh my goodness.
Oh.
It was 7 horrible minutes.
Who was it this
Kate McKinnon did it. It was great.
Oh.
I mean, Kate McKinnon's always great, I mean.
Yeah.
The writers did her no
justice.
No favors. On Mondays we get a special serving of hot dish all the way from Hollywood. Please give it up for our good friend Brad from TMZ. Good morning, Brad.
Hey, good morning, Jason. How are you?
Okay, I'm not well. I'm mad at you. I'm mad at everybody at TMZ because I saw this photo and all weekend I've been freaking out about this. There's a UFO in LA. Explain yourself, Brad.
It's caused a lot of drama in our office too, Jason, because we got 3 photos over the weekend. Someone who was traveling on the 101 freeway and what they claimed to be a UFO. So we had our photo department on this. We had our art department on this, not only trying to see if this was photoshopped. They didn't see evidence of that. They tried to recreate it. We did some reverse image searching and really couldn't come up with anything. And this image, the witness says that it was traveling the same way as the 101 freeway. It was only there for a few seconds and went away. And it does have kind of a spiral look to it. It was an interesting, what they claim is a UFO.
Out of all the highways for that UFO to follow, they're following the 101.
That's the one. They know where the action is, and they don't want to sit in traffic on the 405. So they chose a better one there.
See, this is what scares me because y'all know a thing or two about faked photos. So the fact that your team couldn't recreate this, that's what scared me.
They couldn't. They pulled the data in the photo. They tried to see if any things were like remarkable as far as an edit or anything, and they just couldn't find it. Now, that's not to say that people can't do some pretty incredible things with Photoshop, and especially what we see in movies. But as far as what we tried, we couldn't find any evidence of that on this one.
Next, bad news for Real Housewives star Kelly Dodd. What's happened?
Well, she got a lot of heat over the weekend because she was out dining, which is allowed now in California, outdoor dining, but she was laughing and joking with friends that it was a super spreader event. So this made a lot of people upset, including a beverage company that she has a partnership with who dropped her because of that. So a lot of people not only are upset that Kelly was doing this, but she put out a statement and she said, I'm happy that I kind of put this beverage on the market. I'm excited to give them some attention. I mean, it was just kind of a really backhanded kind of response after they dropped her.
Yeah, super spreader events are a big knee slapper. That's funny right there. My goodness.
Yeah.
Kevin Hart hasn't lost his need for speed, and he got a new car. And we like this story here because it's from next door in Wisconsin.
Well, that's right. So he ordered it from the same shop, actually, Jason, in Wisconsin there that he had purchased. Remember, it was about a year and a half ago when Kevin was in that bad accident that nearly took his life in a muscle car. He was actually the passenger, though it was his car when it kind of sped off the roadway into a ditch. Now we know that SpeedCore, the company there in Wisconsin, has prepared another vehicle for him. This time it's an older Chevrolet, or a Dodge, I believe, that they've reworked. We haven't seen photos of it yet. It is called the Hellraiser, so I'm sure there's a lot of speed there. But, it's good for Kevin that this is clearly a passion of his, and if he can do it safely, good for him.
Absolutely. Brad, have a good week. Watch out for those UFOs, my friend.
I'll try my best. I'm just going to stay hunkered down in the apartment here.
Good move. Thank you, buddy. TMZ.com and TMZ on TV. Okay, now we have it. Now, remember at the top of the show, I told you that in our meeting, we talked about all of our stories, and Leo quietly at the very end of the meeting goes, I saw a UFO too. And then he goes, about 4 hours later, I have video. So I guess we have the video. This is not a joke. Let's look at this. I have not seen this either.
Wow. What's your take? Come on. Give us your quick take, Jason.
Well, I don't know. It looks like a drone.
Yeah.
I don't know. Leo thinks it's a UFO, but he does say it could possibly be a drone. So if anyone's watching and you flew a drone over Leo's house in Eden Prairie on when was this, Leo? What day?
You say Friday?
This was Saturday night around what time, Leo? 7:30. Leo claiming there was an armada. There were about 10 UFOs. So if you are the driver of said UFO or drone, will you please give us a call to our UFO, please, and sincerely, when you call, ask for Nick at our assignment desk.
Yes, Nick.
Right, crew? Oh, if we start getting, Nick will kill us at the assignment desk.
Yeah.
If people start calling, I saw the
Fox
UFO
9.
too. Fox
Yeah.
9. Nick is at our assignment desk. He answers the tip line. He's a joy.
Know-it-all Nick.
Know-it-all Nick on our show, yeah. Next, oh God, Nick's gonna kill us. He is absolutely gonna kill us.
He's gonna walk in right now.
He is, yeah. Next in the dish, it's been 33 years since the Wonder Years debuted following the Super Bowl, okay? That's right there. Oh, what a good theme song. That show starred Fred Savage and revolved around a white middle-class family in the 60s. Now, ABC has greenlit a reboot. We knew about that. Now, the new tape will also be set in the 60s and will follow a black middle-class family in Montgomery, Alabama. Fred will actually be the executive producer and will direct the pilot. Now, here's where, now that's lovely. I think that's great. I can't wait to watch it. I'm glad it's going to be back on ABC. But Jeff told us a fun fact about this that made all of us feel old. You ready? Here's the fun fact. The Wonder Years debuted in 1988 and was about a show. It looked back at life 20 years earlier, 1968. If they did that right now, that show would be set in 2001. And in 1988, when I was watching the Wonder Years, 1968 seemed like eons ago. Like eons ago.
The dinosaurs were there.
Yeah, seriously.
Like.
Yes, some of Leo's UFO friends. Let's go to our audience. Gary, does that not make all of us feel old? Think about that.
Oh, it makes me feel even older than you. I was 18 in 1968. And
you were, Gary, you were not.
I was indeed. I just...
And now look at you. You're working at Jurassic Park. I love it. Look how far you've come, Gary. You're working at Jurassic Park now.
Yeah, it's a dirty job, but someone's got to do it.
Seriously, and Kelly, did you hear that math? 2001 was 20 years ago.
That's crazy.
I know. I would remember being here. That's how long I've been at Channel 9. I was here 20 years ago. Thank you, friends. Thank you. Yeah, crazy.
That is, it's a perspective for sure.
We're all getting older.
Mm-hmm.
We're all getting older.
Yep.
What was that kid in What About Bob? We're all gonna die. Remember that kid? He was like yeah. Anyway,
next we're all gonna die.
He was like, he sat in his room. Yeah, if you've seen What About Bob, you know what kid I'm talking about. Next on the dish, from serial killers to untimely deaths, there's a hotel in LA that has quite the dark reputation, and now Netflix is on the case. My mother will be watching this the moment it comes out. Here's the trailer for Crime Scene: The Vanishing at the Cecil Hotel.
This was a place where serial killers let their hair down, like Richard Ramirez, who would come back covered in blood, and no one's got a problem with that.
A hotel with a notorious past is the site of another bizarre case.
Elisa Lamb from Vancouver, Canada, is missing.
The big unanswered question is, where is she?
The last footage that we had of her was inside the elevator. That's where the case starts to go askew.
She kept looking outside the door.
Why is the elevator not going anywhere? Is someone keeping her here?
Her hand movements are very strange and erratic.
Like she's conjuring a spirit.
It makes people wonder, is there something evil going on here?
Of course there's something evil going on there. There's no question. Satan has checked in. The doc will follow the mysterious disappearance of Elisa Lamb. It drops on Netflix in 2 weeks. No. Okay, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
If somebody gave you
Oh, here we go.
$50,000, would you stay overnight there?
I don't know.
Really?
I would like to say yes, but I also know it's in an area of LA that like I probably don't want to hang out in. So
forget about the area. There are ghosts. There's a demon in there. I love that Kendall's concentrating. You know, it's not the best neighborhood. Forget about the spirit in the hotel.
I mean, I don't know. Would you?
Girl, I would do it for $1,000.
You would not.
Oh.
Stop. Jeff, no, he wouldn't. No, you wouldn't.
You don't know me like that. I wouldn't. I really wouldn't.
I know you exactly like that.
Absolutely would not. I would do it for $75,000. I would sleep in there.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting closer to my number.
Yeah, but no, that looks so good though. Yeah. What is seriously? What is happening?
I don't know.
Look at her hands. She was. They're right. She's conjuring something.
Something's happening.
Something is not. It's not your normal Hojo. No. Still ahead, we asked you to show us your weekend, and you delivered. But next, it's the moment you've been waiting for. Could we be any more dramatic? Coming up next, I went ice fishing for the very first time in barely inhabitable circumstances. Look at that. We'll be right back, everybody. Back in a moment. Fine, Ted's a little right. I mean, when I look at the... Welcome back. Well, a few weeks ago, you saw me go cross-country skiing for the first time in my life. And today, another winter first, ice fishing. I teamed up with the local ice fishing pro to experience life on the frozen lake. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for our latest Fish Out of Water. So many of you spent time outdoors this weekend. Carol took a trip to the state fairgrounds to check out the Winter Carnival snow and ice sculptures. She said she saw a lot of talent, and that is the truth. Hi. That was not ice fishing. That was show us your weekend.
Mm-hmm.
That was show us your weekend. We're going to get that for you. I will tell you this while we're waiting for that. This isn't giving anything away. I will say that I enjoyed this way more than you would think. So much so that I actually booked, this will surprise everybody, I actually booked another adventure with them. I booked an adventure.
You really did?
I did.
You texted me. I was like, are you just being nice?
No. I actually, and you'll see it, I actually enjoyed it way more than I ever thought that I would.
It's fun. I mean, I've never done the ice shack. Like, shack is such a relative word. I've only ever done it like out on the open, and you have to put up a big tent.
Yeah.
This looks way more fun.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll have that story for you. Stay right there. Back in a moment. Love Live TV. Welcome back. Let's try this again, shall we? Hey, today, another first. I'm going ice fishing. I teamed up with a local ice fishing pro to experience life on the frozen lake. Roll it, Leo. It's time for our latest fish out of water. I have never driven. This is a lake, people. We're driving on ice to start this ice fishing adventure, and I sincerely am very anxious. Very anxious.
Oh my God, what was that?
Stop! Stop! Keep driving. We're here in the village. Hello. We're here in the village. I'm ice fishing. Hi, buddy. We're here fishing for the very first time. This is not quite what I imagined. You know, we could be in the tent over there, but no, we're here. This is the accommodations for today, and I'm actually excited now that I've seen it's this.
Wait till you see the inside.
Okay,
all right, here we go.
Come on, everybody.
Go ahead and go on in.
Holy crap! Are you kidding me? This is awesome. This would actually be a cool thing to do overnight. I can't believe I just said that. Don't tell my father-in-law I said that. Okay, no joke, Jeff. I've fished a couple times, but I've never done this, so give me the basics. Like, how do we do this?
We're just gonna pop these off like that. You can see how thick that ice is down there.
Okay, see, I was freaking out when we were driving down here. That's how thick the ice is?
That's pretty thick. We're gonna go ahead and start up the underwater camera that's set up in this hole here.
Okay.
And we'll just kind of see what's going on down there. So right there, see that crappie?
Yeah.
Swimming down there.
Holy crap, that's a fish. Or holy crappie, that's a fish.
Yep. I'll get you set up with the rod here.
Okay. So I remember from our walleye fishing that if I feel a little pull, yank up.
So underwater camera is a pretty good teaching tool on how fish react when you're jigging the jig and stuff. So when you're jigging, you're gonna want to kind of keep going like this until you get a fish to come in. Once you see a fish come in, then you're gonna kind of try to slow that jigging motion down a little bit. Right there.
Right there?
Yeah. And then jig up a little bit. Oh, he went away. All right, we'll get the next one.
Okay.
We'll see when the next group comes in.
This is also a game of patience.
And go ahead and give it a couple jigs again. And then they kind of show up and then go away.
Come on. Come on.
And there's a couple fish sitting right on you right now. So they must be just staring at you. And then like here's a fish, there's a fish, fish, and then a fish up here too also. Go ahead and reel up just really slow a little bit. All right, and that may have been why.
All that time, look, nothing on the hook. It could have been why. I'm not an expert, but that might have been the reason.
You want to see a cheating game a little bit?
Yes, please. We're gonna cheat a little bit. The next time you see this, hopefully I'll have a cheating fish, okay?
And what this does, It's going to tell you where the fish are in that water column. That way you can kind of target the fish better.
That thing tells you where the fish are.
Yes.
Oh, this is great.
A lot of
this
times
is
you'll
my
put-
kind of fishing.
So this is a fish here coming up right now, so go ahead and reel some of your line up. Here comes a fish actually down to you.
There you go. Come on.
Right there. Now start reeling. There you go. Nice and easy up through the hole. There you go.
Holy! Look at that! Papa Haas, look at that! I got a fish! Holy! Oh my God, I got a fish. I have never caught a fish in my life.
Yeah.
Okay, we gotta make a quick video. Okay.
I am taping this.
I know you're taping it. I gotta have other proof. Look, I caught a fish ice fishing, Carter. Look at that.
Do you want to weigh it before you put it back?
No.
We're not gonna weigh it. What do you mean weigh it? It's 8 pounds.
All right, we'll get this guy back in.
Bye, buddy.
There you go, little buddy. That was a perfect hook set, though. That's exactly how you do it. You got to pull up that high, and then go ahead, and
Okay. As I said during our technical malfunction, all kidding aside, this is me. And I've said this before. In all honesty, I'm a curmudgeon. The day of these things, I go like this. Ugh. You know what I mean? Ugh. And most times when I get done, I love it. I loved this. So much so that we did book an adventure with him. He was such a nice guy, Jeff. And his girlfriend, wife, watches our show. And it's just, and it's a great company. He built a couple of those houses. And I had a great time. It was very relaxing.
Good.
Yeah. And then, I looked over and there's the guys barbecuing. And yeah, it was just a whole new world that honestly I had never experienced. And it was awesome. Mm-hmm. And I'm so competitive that, did you see how hard I was concentrating?
You were focused. Because
normally I told photographer Eric, usually I would try to be sarcastic or throw in some little lines, funny. I couldn't even try to be funny. I was so wanting that fish. And by the way, it weighed in at about 12 pounds, that fish.
12 whole ounces.
Yeah. What kind of fish was that?
I think that was a sunny or crappie.
Yeah.
Would have been a sunny, bluegill, or a crappie.
Oh.
There's not a lot that will catch that time of day.
I think she just spoke Portuguese. What did you just say? No, I don't even understand what you just said, but.
Panfish.
I know. And I called Colin right afterwards. Thank you for your support, because I called Colin. The first thing he said to me was, I sent him the video, and when I said Carter, that's my nephew. He's the outdoorsy kid. He wants, eat squirrels and things. And I called Colin. I was so proud, and he goes, well, it was just a sunny. He said just a sunny. And I'm like.
Did you tell him what time you were fishing?
Does that matter?
It does. Well, I mean, it's easier to catch a fish when they're eating, and they're kind of restful.
I went at lunch.
So?
Aren't they eating lunch? Taco Bell was busy. Why wasn't the lake?
But I mean, you got excited about the Vexlar. Yeah. I mean, there are things that were exciting.
Support this guy. Book an adventure. He books up quick. I did find that out too. For an ice adventure, check out their website, icefishingwarriors.com. Icefishingwarriors.com. Still ahead. I'm going to show you what I watched this weekend, a little TV taste test when we return. Back in a moment. It was fun. It's just a sunny.
You think this is a performance. You see a man in a theater, there's an audience. It is difficult to see past what this looks like. You can see it for what it is, or you can imagine what it could be.
Before you came in here, there was a wall.
That's a clip from the new movie In and of Itself on Hulu, featuring the one-man show that became a phenomenon in New York City. Welcome back, everybody. The show was created by writer, performer, and magician Derek Delgadio. He's the artist in residence at Walt Disney Imagineering. I suddenly like him more. The show is part life story, part magic, and part therapy session, part self-discovery. Let's take a look at this clip, and I'll try to explain it on the other side.
Two things are about to happen. One of these things you will see, and the other thing we will see. We get to see you transform into something else.
I don't understand.
Okay, this is one of those things where I struggle with what I want to tell you because I want you to be surprised like I was. So I have decided in just this millisecond, I will not explain that letter sequence. I want you to I want it to open up for you, so to speak. I didn't know what I was watching. It's an hour and a half, and for about 45 minutes, I didn't understand what I was watching, and I mean that. I'm not trying to be funny. And I almost gave up on it, and Colin and I both said, executive producer Jeff says this is remarkable, and we finished it, and I'm glad that I did. You will be like, oh my goodness. A, you're going to be, what is this? Number 2, you're going to cry. Number 3, you're going to be like, how did he do this and that? And then you're going to leave, you're going to turn it off, and you are going to think about it for hours.
What?
You're going to think about it for hours. You're going to process what you just saw.
So it's one of his shows, but we're getting to watch it.
He did it. It's a one-man show. He did 500 and some times in New York City.
Okay.
And he put this together, and Stephen Colbert was a big fan and executive produced this movie directed by Frank Oz of Muppets fame, the Frank Oz.
Okay.
I don't know still what I watched. I still don't know what I watched. But you should watch this in and of itself on Hulu. Finish our show and then go watch that and let us know what you think. That's not the only thing I watched this weekend. Episode 4 of the Disney Plus series WandaVision came out on Friday. And this episode, like the whole show, has a lot of people talking. Look.
What is it?
Some sort of energy field.
Be careful, Rambo. Captain Rambo. Watch it.
So again, this is another show where the first couple episodes you were like, what are we watching? We're finally starting to understand why 2 superheroes are stuck in a TV sitcom. And again, I don't like ruining shows for people. That's about all I will say about the plot. I will say this. This is one of the most original, fresh shows I have seen in a very long time. In a sea of reboots and revitalizations and retooling, and this is a breath of fresh air. I like that we don't know what's going on fully. It keeps me coming back, and this episode starts to piece. This is a puzzle. We now have a corner of the puzzle put together. And it makes me excited for the next few episodes. And I will tell you this. You do not have to be versed in the Marvel Universe to enjoy this show. I get asked that a lot. Watch WandaVision. Another TV show I watched is a guilty pleasure. If you need an escape, season 13 of RuPaul's Drag Race. And this week, Minnesota's queen, Utica, really shined. The queens were challenged to create. Look at this, everybody. Come back to your TV. This is Utica from Minnesota. The challenge was to create a custom look using bags. Utica got high marks for reusing sleeping bags to create this custom look. She nearly won the week, but unfortunately finished second. Any sewer out there that's watching our show, think about the material, and they acknowledge this. That material is not easy to work with. That is, I could see, they said it, you could see that on a runway. A designer could make that. I love that Utica, and you know, we cheer on when Minnesotans are on reality shows like our buddy Alan Burstyn from Dancing with the Stars. I cheer on Alan not only because he's from Minnesota, but he's a great guy and he's good. The same with Utica. Everyone is starting to realize how good Utica is, and I want to say again, as nice as Utica seems on the show, that's really who Utica is. It's not an act. Kind heart, and I want to see her win. I do. So bad. Cool. Yeah, it was a good episode. And then Untucked, which is the show after, where they're in a waiting room and they fight. There is an old school fight. It's like Jeff and I after the show.
Hide your wigs, hide your keys.
That's right. Okay. Hide your wigs, hide your keys. That's what Jeff says to me every day. We're going to take a break, everyone. Don't forget, you can watch RuPaul's Drag Race on VH1 on demand, Hulu for the other one. We'll be back. Stay with us, everyone. Back in a moment. Welcome back, my friends. Well, it's become one of the highlights of our Monday morning, seeing how all of you spent your weekend. And we do, seeing all your pictures. And thank you so many, every week are participating on our Jason Show Facebook page. Here's this week's Show Us Your Weekend. So many of you spent time outdoors this weekend. Carol took a trip to the state fairgrounds to check out the Winter Carnival snow and ice sculptures. She said she saw a lot of talent, and that is the truth. Brooke's husband and daughter went snowmobiling on the lake and trails, while 28 weeks pregnant mama sipped some cocoa, as she should. Valerie was out snowmobiling with friends in Wisconsin, and even Bernie came along for the ride. A different type of sledding in Red Wing, Angie says Tanner and Owen enjoyed the snow. And Angela spent some time on a frozen lake going ice fishing with their besties. From outdoors to the indoors, Jen enjoyed a great date night at Tilt Bar with friends. I love that place. Meanwhile, Jessica took some adorable Valentine's Day photos with her son Jax. Great pictures, guys. Kelly painted all weekend and says her body hurts. Our buddy Christopher Straub, he shared this photo saying he started teaching his youngest child to sew. Of course he did. He already made a pillow and wants to sew a mask next. We may be seeing him on Project Runway like his dad, or at least on the Jason Show. Becky says she finished her gallery wall, all vintage. Looks fantastic, Becky. Quite a few birthdays this weekend. Terry celebrated on Saturday. Friends made her steak, shrimp, scallops, and more. Where was my invite? Sherry celebrated her 60th birthday. Happy birthday. She says her beloved hubby made chocolate cake complete with chocolate raspberry ganache. Wow. And Crystal celebrated her grandma's 93rd birthday. Happy birthday to all. Katie shared this adorable picture. She's spending some time with her nephew, Jason. I guess my name is still kind of popular. Shannon had a surprise visitor outside her house, a possum. Diana got some quality time with her furry friend, catching up on Netflix. And it was a great weekend to get a dog. Nicole welcomed this new pooch named Butters. And Holly got a new rescue puppy from Secondhand Hounds named Georgie. How cute. Georgie! How cute is Georgie? I know, I just want to eat him.
Oh, so cute.
I love, thanks guys, sincerely. We post those on Sunday nights. They're funny. I love it. It just makes everyone smile. We're going to take a break, everybody. We're going to wrap up the show after these important messages. Welcome back, my dear friends. Let's say goodbye to our audience. My buddy Gary, live from Jurassic Park. Gary, do I get in free if I come and ask for you?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Perfect. Laura from Woodbury, thank you, sweetie. I appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
And Sarah from Shoreview and Kelly. Ladies, thank you so much. I appreciate y'all being
Thanks
here.
for having us.
Thank you. Now, Kendall, you have a great event you want to tell the folks about.
Yeah, I do. So I'm part of the associate board for the Boys and Girls Clubs here in the Twin Cities. We usually have a big gala right now, but we can't this year because of COVID. So we have this. This is why you're looking at food. It's called Cooking with the Clubs. Essentially what people can do is the entire month of February, we've worked with local chefs. You go online, you purchase a video from one of these local chefs, like Trio Plant-Based did one, David Fema did one, Bachelor Farmer did one. And you can go on the entire month and make that meal. They'll teach you how to do it. They'll send you the recipe. All the proceeds go to the Boys and Girls Clubs. We have a silent auction starting next week through the 15th, where we've got packages for spas. You can go on trips, like they have Delta airline tickets. And we always talk about this. People want the Jason Show mugs.
Yeah.
So we, the team, autographed some Jason Show mugs. Those will be on our silent auction. We've got a live event that I'll be hosting with Miss Minnesota. There's a lot that you can do, and it all goes towards the kids in our community. So even if you don't live here, if you're in Duluth, you can still be a part of it. It's great.
I love
Check it
this.
out, please.
And I know the Jason Show fan club folks, they will support it. They are so supportive. If we tell them to go buy a zebra, they go buy a zebra.
Right. Good. Please. You don't even have to do that.
You don't even have to buy a zebra. Just buy a ticket. They're really. What's the address again? How do people?
It is boysandgirlsclub.org/cookingwiththeclubs.
Perfect. And FEMA, I'm gonna bid on that one. I love David FEMA. I love you, FEMA. Tomorrow on the show, producer Ted is talking The Bachelor. Will Matt be able to look beyond all the drama to find his one true love? Probably not. That's going to do it for us. If you're a kid watching that's being bullied, you go out there and be yourself because nobody can tell you you're doing it wrong. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning. Have a good day.